Hey, it's Scott Norris here from Virtualiseme.tv. Today I just wanted to have a look at the new Azure capabilities in 7.2. Now, I've been using Azure plugin for quite some time, well over 12 months at some of the customer sites that couldn't wait for the integration to come from VMware. And yeah, we're just going to have a look at what we have delivered uh, to customers, but also what the product delivers out of the box, and we can sort of see its shortcomings and its pros, its cons, etc. So what I'll do here is I'll sign in, and we'll take a look. So first off, when we do create uh, Azure machines, we need to create the reservations. Now the reservations I don't think are as good as the integrated ones for AWS, etc. But we'll have a look. So the Azure reservations, we obviously give it a name, we give it a reservation policy, just like any of the reservations, and a priority. Now, then we also give a reservation a subscription ID. Fine. The location and the resource groups and storage accounts. Now, the shortfall here is that this is a very manual process. Now, sure, we could probably wrap it, but the storage accounts do make Azure very clunky in a lot of ways. I know they're changing the way they're going to be managing disks soon, but the storage accounts can do 20,000 IOPS, I believe it is, and which means, okay, how do we carve that up? If you have 20 machines that need 1,000 IOPS each, then you got 20,000. Need 40 machine at 5,000, at 500, sorry, however you want to make that up. But either way, how do we then dynamically create additional ones? We don't have those smarts. See, AWS or vSphere really don't have that problem. Sure, we've got to increase limits in AWS, but we don't have to worry about the storage accounts. Now, resource groups, fine. ASM, they're a bit of a problem, but resource groups in ARM are pretty good. They can have 800 objects of any kind, meaning that you can have 800 virtual machines that all have a single NIC and a single IP address, etc. But then you could have 400 machines that have dual NICs. So you can only have 800. But still, you have to come in here and add these as you add them in, or you would have to come up with a dynamic way to add these in here. Now, when we provision a machine, it's going to check the storage account and resource group that we put in on our blueprint against these. If it doesn't exist, it's going to fail. Now, networks is very similar. So we put our networks in with our subnet. Now we don't have to put priority, profile, sorry, and load balance and security group. So I'm not actually using these in this instance, but obviously you can have them in there. All right, so once you've got your reservation set up and you've got everything else that you want in there, great. We can move on to creating a machine. So let's look at our blueprints and let's have a look at my Azure Ultimate. As you can see, it's just a single machine, IaaS blueprint, nothing special. We click on this, and those who are familiar with vRealize automation is under here is very XaaS, because that's what it is. This is utilizing vRealize Orchestrator to provision the machines. So give it a name, just like any blueprint, minimum and maximums. Build information, so we put our location. So obviously we want the same location that's in our reservation. Now we naming prefix, so we use custom, so just put this custom naming prefix in here, or we could use the business default. Then we can use the image, so we can use stock or custom. Now one thing that's quite annoying is this, is that I don't have a drop down of the available catalog images. I have to find this out, and this isn't exactly easy. You can get this through PowerShell by going through quite a number of commands. Let's see if I can actually remember what it was. Let's So I'll go to my server here. So we first need to log on to our account. So we'd do account. I've got that. Okay, that should log me on there. Now first I need to get the provider. So I need to get Azure RM VM provider. Maybe not. I think it's here somewhere. Can't remember them all. Or is it? No, publisher. Sorry, not provider. RM VM. Oh, image publisher. And then we need a location. Southeast. Now they should spit back thousands. Yep, so then we find what we want there. So obviously that one that we want is Microsoft Windows Server. So that will be one of the ones that's returned there somewhere. Microsoft Windows Server, there it is. Now, again, how do you know to get that? Well, I think it's more just trial and error. I'm sure there's some lists out there if you want to have a look, but then we've got to, after that, find our image or our type, so Windows Server. So that one is our, I think it's called offer. So if we get Azure VM image offer, Azure RM offer, and publisher name. So we put the Microsoft server there. I'm lazy, so I'll just cut and paste it from here. That didn't work. Yep. Now it should give us a bunch of offers. There we go. So Windows Server is the next one. And then we need the SKU of that. So in this case, it would come out to be 2006 data center. But let's put it in anyway. So let's go get Azure RM SKU. Yep, we want location. So publisher name and offer is the Windows Server. Now it should come back with SKUs. So there they all are, and then you choose what it is. So this one would be data center. Data center, yep. 2016 data center is the one I'm going to go for. But then what we need is the version of that. So we want then get Azure RMVM image. Oh, yeah. Location. So, image is their version. Oh, image. Hopefully. Image was not found. Oh, that's where I stuffed over there. It should just be Windows Server. Yay. And then they got our versions. So then we put our version at the end. So you can see that makes up our publisher, our offer. Ooh, don't move that. Our SKU and our version. So we've got to put that in there for what we want to use, whether it's, or then we put our custom one. Now, custom ones use a complete URI. So you need the storage account because you can only deploy custom images or machines from custom images as long as that image belongs on the storage account that you're provisioning the machine to. So we need to make sure that we have the full URI to the storage account, which is usually a HTTPS, storage account.blobs, and has the folder structure. I believe that's not close enough to it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but let's see if I can dig it up. Yeah, so the custom image blob is very similar to how I described it previously, and it is in this sort of fashion. So it's your HTTPS, your storage account, .blob.call.windows.net / and then the image location. Unfortunately, with the out-of-the-box support, is that this is the only location. So you can't go any deeper or higher. It must sit within this single folder, or else it won't work, which is unfortunate, but that's not even where if you were to create a custom image off an existing machine in Azure, it doesn't even put it there. So you have to make sure you get it right. I'm sure it's a bit of a afterthought, or it's something that there was a mistake in the coding of it, but hopefully this will be changed shortly. So once we've got our machine, that's a lot on the machine, but it is very important to show you what you need to do. Now we choose our administration, so our local admin for the box, password or SH, so I'll go password, put in your password that you want here, so this will be the user account and the password of the admin for the box. Then we choose our size. So our D series, and this is a one here, and choose that. Then we go on to next, machine resources. So we can use existing resource, or we can create a new. So I've just used an existing resource group name that I already have. And then we've got availability sets. So I don't want to use an availability set in this stage. Storage, so the OS storage discount, so you can leave this separate unless you want it to move. Will be created with the machine. We can enable boot diagnostics, which is something that is pretty good to have, but we'll disable that for now. And network is that we can give, if we wanted to connect it up to a load balancer, how many network interfaces we want, the IP address, profile, VNet, subnet, the whole works. We don't have to enter any of them, but we can if we want. So once all this is done, we should be able to, I'll just discard anything in case of a mistake there. We can go to my catalog. I think I've got it under templates actually. Amongst my stuff here, we request this. I've got no inputs. I hit submit. Now that'll go through its paces and build a machine. So that's really good. Now, as you can see, that it's not very flexible. So in this case, you'd probably want to wrap it with another XAS. So you'll be able to enter those values in more of a dynamic type of way. But for now, that works pretty well. Now we'll just have a look at something that, I work in my test lab, and we've delivered at a couple of customer sites. But we'll have a look here. So we create Azure RM. So this is using the exact same plugin in VRO that the out-of-the-box 7.2 takes advantage of. And have a look at this. Now, this is more geared towards the enterprise. So sort of forget project code at the moment. So project code is more of a predetermined, who's allowed to access what based on the person logged into VRA. So what we want to do here is I'll just choose one that I'm allowed to. So I know what it is, and I've got a bit of cache there. Now, number of machines, I can put 1 to 100, doesn't really matter. I'll just do 1. Now I'll choose my domain. So my Virtualiseme. Then we choose our image. I've only got one there. Image type standard, so we could have different images for test and development purposes. Role. And benefit here is I actually grab the size back. So 1 core, 3.5. I could change that to 2 and 7. Go next. Applications, so these are particular applications, and this actually goes into naming your machine, for example. Availabilities, so if I want my machines to power on, power off, particular times, this is all run out of VRO as well. So this is very much cloud orientated, meaning that, if you're not using your servers, why should they be on? And that lowers your cost. Storage, we can configure extra disks. Add extra volumes. Based on the size that I picked, I can only add 4 extra. So we get all that dynamically. I won't add any disks in this particular instance. Additional network cards. Additional info that might want, and we don't have any debug. And then I can hit the old submit. So that's very much an XaaS based offering, based on the same plugin, but without using the native integration. Now, if we have a look in here, so they've completed, they're the ones that just ran recently. So this started the machine and actually kicks off 2 of these. So one builds the machine and one waits till the machine is built to extract the details. So we'll go into our vRealize, go into items. And this is the machine that was just built. Awesome, gives us a bunch of information here, allows us to stop and delete it. Now, if we have a look at Azure, there's our box. That's sweet. That's all working. Now, let's see if the other one goes through. Alright, so that one I built via XaaS is also complete, so we're going to have a look. Refreshed. Yep. So Azure R machine, there's the one, as I said, the naming convention based on what I picked, automatically populating. And then we have a look at what information's here. You can see all this cool information we put there, and obviously we've got destroy. So that's a very quick rundown of what's available with ARM. Now, one of the big downsides, especially I find with a lot of people that are wanting it, is the inability to use software components with Azure. Now, hopefully that'll be coming one day, but yeah, we unfortunately, you can't drag onto an Azure machine, Amazon machine or a vSphere machine or a vCloud Director machine or a vCloud Air machine. We could all drag software components on each one of them and they work across the board, but unfortunately it's not quite there. But hey, it's a start. Allows us to do IaaS at a bare minimum. And obviously, it's not as dynamic as I'd like it to be. But look, there's the main forms for the other cloud providers aren't exactly dynamic either. So the easiest way to do that is to put a wrapper around it. Anyway, that's it. Just quickly showing off what's available in 7.2 with the Azure integration, and also what we've done in the field in general using the plugin through XaaS. So obviously very similar end results, but obviously with XaaS you can make the forms a lot nicer.